Like, go. Give me just a moment, y'all, to get the word out. Then we are going to get this fired up. You know how we do, whether the chat fills up or not, because this is basically a live podcast. We are live. Welcome to the Bonnet Chronicles. I'm your host, Kalari GXC. And when I say this day has been a day, I got to save a lot of what I'm going to talk about for tomorrow. Because not only do I have a YouTube live that I'm going to do about a lot of stuff that went down today, but I got a panel that I'm going to be doing later on after this Bonnet Chronicles and another panel tomorrow too, because a lot's been going down that's not politics driven. So I'm going to keep my circles a bit separated. Bonnet Chronicles here is about my politics and social issues and news stuff. And while I'm itching to drag some people, we can wait. It can wait. So we're going to get started tonight with some Twitter fuck shit. As you can see from the picture up here, it has been a week of so-called allies, fair weather allies as I like to call them, coming for and at black people about what's going on in Palestine. Really bad actors, if you could call them that. And this young person decided to try us by saying other voters needed to be wooed, convinced, brought along. We got bullied and patronized. Good luck with your election strategy. In response to me telling them, because this was a whole conversation about how we're talking about JD Vance and everything else, and then they pivoted to trying to call the Biden-Harris administration out on how they're handling the Israel-Palestinian conflict. And I told them, point blank, this is not the place or the time for your grievances. Bring that shit to the ballot. And they said they needed to be wooed. So my response was, in the literal fight to save democracy from fascism, if you need to be wooed, convinced, coddled, or you can have a big cup of fuck you, now in the flavors of bitch please, and grow the fuck up. Our strategy after 2016 taught us that we could not count on your asses anyway. And it's the truth. These people who constantly need to hold their vote as ransom to us, we didn't need you in 2020. You're not as big as you think you are. And then you got motherfuckers going around calling black people colonizers because we're not ready to throw away our vote because you want us to vote for maybe Bear Carcass and his fridge guy or some third party person we never even heard of. Anything to try to stick it to a black woman. So I went off like I often do on Twitter. It's great to be back, y'all. It really is. So I'm going to cue this up because this distinctly says everything I have to feel about these people trying to pressure us to take a side on the conflict. Let's get this going. Because I'm just tired of repeating myself. So thank God I do these shorts so I don't have to. And this is part 1. Part 2 to a 2-part series. And that's the thing. I shouldn't have to say shit like this to people online, but having literal people with those weird triangle and watermelon emojis still when you knew and you were told that shit is racist, coming at black people and calling us fucking colonizers. I clicked off the wrong thing. I shouldn't be shocked. Because this is the shit they're doing, these little stunts for power. We have this article here. Pro-Palestinian protesters disrupt VP Harris, get it right, News Nations, campaign after party. I don't understand what they think they're doing with this shit. I don't think they understand that they're not going to get the sway they think. They're annoying at this point. They don't vote, and we know it. But they think that doing little stunts like this is going to do anything for the Palestinian people. Y'all are better off taking your ass over there and trying that shit there. But I can bet you cowards won't. I bet a motherfucker won't go over there. Pro-Palestinian protesters clashed with New York police Wednesday while trying to confront Democratic leaders at an after-party following a campaign event for Vice President Kamala Harris. Shortly after, Mayor Eric Adams and New York Governor Kathy Hochul endorsed the Harris-Waltz ticket. Protesters set off smoke bombs and reportedly caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to the venue's outdoor space. Because that's totally going to help the people that are being bombed. That's totally going to do something besides get your names in the paper, which is what you're doing, you little fucking stunters for power. Which, it's not even going to give you power. This chaos comes less than a week after the pro-Palestinian protesters heckled VP Harris during a rally in Michigan. The outburst has concerned officials ahead of the DNC in Chicago next week. And it shouldn't. Because if they want to protest outside, let the motherfuckers yell outside. The moment they try to get indoors and do that shit, y'all need to just crack heads. Fuck it. This is a country that turned hoses and dogs on my grandparents when they marched for civil rights. Maybe it's what these motherfuckers want. They want to be martyrs, make them martyrs. I don't care anymore. They're out here calling black people colonizers. They're telling us to throw our rights away. Oh, we're not telling you to vote for Trump. We're just telling you not to vote. Do you not realize that if a Democrat does not vote Democrat, it is a fucking vote for the Republicans, you dunces? And we can't risk anybody using voter apathy when we are literally watching Project 2025 loom over the rest of the rights that they haven't already repealed when Trump had his 4-year shot at it. If you're a woman right now, if you're LGBTQ+, black, brown, Asian, Hispanic, Native American, Southeast Asian, anybody who is not straight, white, Christian, male, and rich, you cannot afford to fuck around because you will find out if we sleep in November instead of coming out strong like we did in 2020. But you got these people that are like, no, I think you should. I think you should withhold your vote. I don't want to get into politics, but what have the Democrats do for you? Gee, let me count the ways. When President Biden got in, we got a vaccine rollout, which we didn't have under the dunce. I got boosted 4 fucking times already. My last booster was just in February this year. We got the child tax care credit, which even before I quit Twitter for 2 years, I posted that laptop that I was able to buy my son with the little extra that we kept getting each month. And VP Harris just said in the campaign rally that she did in North Carolina that I got to watch live to calm myself down from the early morning bullshit on YouTube, that she wants to bring that back. So it will help us families with kids in college or kids K through 12 or kids with special needs get a little bit extra from the taxes that we're already paying in so that we don't have to worry about the government giving that back to us when we file our tax return. And hey, Beans, welcome to the chat, honey. The fact of the matter is these protesters want attention, but they don't want solutions. They just want to seem like they're about something while causing fucking people who are about voting to realize that we can't work with your ass. You want to attack us, you want to call us colonizers, you want to tell us not to vote, you want to say, well, we're not telling you to vote for Trump. But you're too fucking stupid to correlate that if enough of us fuckers don't vote for the Harris-Waltz ticket, we're screwed. Because that worm will get in and it's game over. He is literally, I've played it on the Bonnet Chronicles. Him legitimately on record telling people, vote for me now, vote once, you'll never have to worry about it again because it's documented in Project 2025 that they are going to gut election rights. Along with the DOJ, along with the DOE, the Department of Education. Women's rights are screwed. If you're a LGBTQIA plus member, you're screwed. But you want us to risk our fucking rights for a conflict that has been going on for fucking decades? Nah. You can call us all the names you want. And welcome, aggravated proctologists. You can call us all the names you want, but you are not going to take this momentum from us. It's just fucking Twitter randos as far as I'm concerned. It's people that tell me in a crucial election that they still have to be fucking wooed. So no. I don't negotiate with terrorists, honey. I just don't. I know that we can't let up until after the election is called, but I am so not just optimistic but pumped. But I've also seen people trying to play those games on Twitter. You remember those side games that they did with Hillary on Twitter Beans, but with President Biden. And I get it. As much as the debate sucked for him, I am still grateful for the 4 years of calm. The 4 years of stability, the being able to fucking sleep at night, not worrying about a maniac having our nuclear codes. I was grateful for everything that Joe Biden did in these last 4 years. And I'm not just about fucking optics of a fucking debate that shouldn't have happened in the first place because CNN sucks. There were people coming at me, well, you know you wouldn't have been as enthusiastic for Joe Biden as you are for Kamala Harris. And I can honestly admit that I am way more pumped for this ticket than I could have ever been for just the Biden-Harris ticket on principle, because there are so many historical firsts that could be happening and that will happen in November when we vote. But to act like I wouldn't be riding with Biden if he hadn't stepped aside, you're crazy. Because I'm appreciative of when somebody does a good fucking job. And the fact is, there are way too many ingrates in our party, and y'all was showing yourself. It isn't about the levels of enthusiasm. I still would have been enthusiastic for President Biden and VP Harris to go one more term. But am I gonna lie and say that I am not fucking super psyched to the point of giddiness and elation for this ticket? No. I am ecstatic. That's why I fucking dusted the digital cobwebs. I know some fuckers that can't stand me or want to pull where I said I was done with Twitter. I'm fucking over Twitter. And I was done with Twitter. I still got my Spellable account because I prefer that. But when I signed up to volunteer before she even picked Governor Walz to be her running mate, I was down for whatever I needed to do for the campaign. And one of the things they said, besides text banking, phone banking, canvassing as you can, which I can't because I'm out in the cut and literally in MAGA territory, but they said if you have a social media platform and presence, we want you. And so, because Twitter is one of my biggest platforms, I unlocked it down. I made that video coming back. People hadn't seen me in 2 years because I'm locking down my stuff. And I got welcomed back with open arms so that I could talk politics, social issues, and everything else. Is it fun having to use that platform again? No, when people are constantly infighting, calling people out their face. Literally, Miss Denise, a Black Panther, an elder who has not only done more for this country than they fucking deserve, had these people who allegedly present themselves as Muslim coming at her. The levels of disrespect that I seen this week was fucking off the chain, and we are not going to have that. If you don't want to stand with us, that's fine, but you are not going to stop our momentum. And it's just insane to me. The people that are fucking with our elders are thinking we're just going to be calm. This isn't just about me, y'all. This is about our country being saved from the hands of literal tyranny. And some people that would rather have us throw it away for a fucking conflict that's been going on since before we were born. That's not how this works. As I said, I feel terrible for the children and the women and the families being shelled on and attacked for the way the Palestinian people had to live. But I also feel awful for the hostages that have been taken by Hamas. And that neither side at this point has clean hands. And that the only side I'm currently on is fucking peace. So if you're going to try to press me to choose a side and it ain't the side of peace, you can fuck right off. I don't fuck with that shit. I don't care. I'm tired of all of this. Thank you, Snorehawks, for the gem and the holograms. I don't know why the sound didn't go off. I just got the sound alerts going. There we go. It's a little bit of a delay. I normally play it at the end, but I'll take that as a cool down. It's truly outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. And welcome to the chat, Snowhawk. Beans, I'm telling you though, she handled it like she always does, gracefully, but yeah. Going after Miss Denise is fighting for a lot of us. Outrageous. Gem is my name. No one else is the same. Gem. Thank you so much for the music. Interlude, Snowhawks. I appreciate that. It gets me fired up because they want us angry and they want to take our eyes off the prize, and that's not going to work. Miss Denise is an elder that literally had to deal with fuck shit as a Black Panther. She is the heart of everything we're fighting for with this ticket. So if you're coming after her, you're coming after all of us Black women, and we're going to find you, we're going to drag you. But as the title speaks, this has not been a good week for Donald Trump. It really hasn't been a good campaign anyway. That's why I named it the saddest campaign ever ran. Because not since the Nixon-Kennedy debates where good old Richard, I almost called him by his nickname, but yeah, I got to upload this to YouTube and I already cuss enough. But good old Richard Nixon looked sick, was sweaty, and he lost. With Trump, he just keeps stepping in the poo and smearing the poo. Exactly, Beans, about Miss Denise. She deserves to relax in her golden years. She doesn't need these weirdo watermelon and triangle assholes bothering her. But it's like I said, she ain't alone. We got her back, and we will fight for Miss Denise. But this is one of the things that I know it was a talking point all over Twitter, even though I took a bit of a break from the morning stuff. And I even noticed Steve Shriver did about a 15-minute video on it, but I didn't want to grab that today because I already have my own take on this. So I'm going to play this MSNBC clip and then give my point of view, because this is all we have to vote against. And some people are getting it twisted. But let's hear what he said to literal veterans right now. It's not. Let's get punchy. Don't clap for that. Okay. Breathe 10. No, I don't want to hear this next stuff because I got to keep it calm. I got to simmer down. Y'all know, and I talk proudly about it, that my grandfather on my mother's side served in the Korean War. My grandfather on my father's side served in World War II. My father served in Korea. I am a military-raised child. I have uncles that served in Iraq. I have cousins that fought for our freedom. We are a very strong military family. The flag they put on my grandfather's casket is folded up and framed on my bookshelf. And I got the letter from President Carter when my grandfather Billy passed. When I say that anybody downplaying veterans who have been shot, who have died, anybody who sacrifices their lives for our freedom, being literally slandered by that fucking orange pancake doofus. I know he doesn't care. But yet, MAGA will act like he is the man for them. He is a man for patriotism, for veterans, for this, for that. He literally pitted an award that is prestigious against another award that, to me, no matter what, is way more prestigious. Because there is no greater service than risking and giving your life for your country. And this motherfucker went on record not only comparing the two awards, but saying that the Congressional Medal of Freedom is better. And this is why. I don't care what I have to do to stay healthy and viable in November. I don't care how many motherfuckers I got to drag with me. We are going to vote against you, Trump. Because, you couldn't hear the clip? Give me just a moment. I'll replay it, Terry. Let me refresh this clip. And I'm sorry about that. I don't know if the audio's low. Let me interact and get that up. And let me know if you can hear it again. Because sometimes it's muted. I'll replay it, even though it's going to make me physically punchy again. Let me turn this up too, because it could be just too low. No, it's okay. Matter of fact, I'm not seeing this move, so give me just a moment to make sure that the audio is where it needs to be. Properties. Okay, there we go. Because I need y'all to hear what I hear. And it's no problem. Always let me know, because I can hear it clear. And I assume that you can hear it clear. And it would have really sucked if I went through the entire Bonnet Chronicles and you didn't hear it. So let's get this fired off. It's going to piss you off as much as it pissed me off. But I don't want anybody calling me a liar. So I will definitely replay this.
I have to say, Miriam, I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman.
Why are you clapping for that bullshit?
They're rated equal.
I hate his voice. I hate his face. I hate everything about him. And it's like I said, I
wanted to ask you,
not the couch fucker.
Attacked from his comments.
We're not listening to his take, because we know he's just gonna spin more bullshit because he's an ass lick. So we're gonna tap this down, and I'll get to this news clip in just a moment. But it's like I said, as a literal brat, whose granddaddies both served, whose father served, who up until the time I left New York City, I had my dad's dog tags. And I still regret losing them because they were personal to him. And as his eldest child, he gave them to me. And I still regret losing them. To hear that doofus say that another award, which is, like I said, prestigious in its own right, is better than an award given to a fallen soldier's family or a soldier who was injured. This man is not for our country. And I don't know how much more he has to show you his real self before you realize. But his partner isn't much better. This motherfucker, JD Vance, said a higher crime rate is the fault of Irish immigrants. Because, it's the 1920s in America again, and we're blaming the Irish for everything again. You can't make this stuff up. They want somebody to hate, and it plays into what I said on Tell It Tuesday. That even if they got rid of all the black people, all the brown people, all the Hispanic people, all the Asian people, all the LGBTQ+, y'all would still find ways to cannibalize people that you consider white when it's convenient, but you still don't like them. Like the Irish. And there's a fucking documented history of the prejudice that the Irish went through in this fucking country. Of the Italians, what they went through in this country. But you still have some Irish and Italian people who are MAGA. But this is the motherfucker, and this is what he thinks of you, that higher crime rates and waves of Irish immigrants are the cause of the crime rates. And welcome, Terry Antico. Exactly. He did say that. He said, I like it when people don't get captured. Literally slandering, Big Bird's, I keep calling her Big Bird. Why am I blanking on her father's name? I know it was a John. He was a POW in Vietnam. He came back and became a senator. And exactly, the Irish had to deal with British occupation. They had to deal with being blamed for the famine. It's just, for some reason, they're the group white people like to shit on when they want to feel better about themselves, about being white. And that's why I don't get how Irish people just fall in the line with this fuck shit. Because I can tell you, if Project 2025 goes down, you might not be allowed back on the white bus. Because according to JD Vance, yous cause crime. They say about my people all the fucking time, and we just side-eye them. But now this couch fucker want to blame the Irish. It's insane to me. Look at him, he just looks stunted. In another resurfaced clip, Republican vice presidential candidate JD Vance made a bold statement about U.S. crime rate, blaming immigrants from Ireland. And this wasn't like years ago, where I got the Hydra agent Johnson on his conversion speak. This was from 2021. 3 fucking years ago, 2021. This doofus went going around on Skype talking about the Irish are the reason for high crime rates. Let's see. He's already pissed off cat moms. He's already pissed off parents and people who opt out of having kids. He's pissed off the LGBTQ+. He's pissed off every fucking Democrat. And now he has decided that the Irish are his enemy. How many more of us does JD Vance have to fucking insult before we tell him, you will never get to be vice president? How many times does this man have to open his mouth before we realize he doesn't deserve any place in the White House, ever? It is crazy to me that he gets spewed this shit. But he still won't defend his wife against racism. He'll still take his kids to a fucking meet and greet where they sell Nazi memorabilia. And I don't have to say alleged because the pictures are all over the place. I don't even understand him. You have this massive wave. Yep, I knew it was going to be. Get ready, y'all. You have this massive wave of Italian, Irish, and German immigration, which our country has always had. My fucking last name is German. You are literally fucking with my family at this point with this bullshit. They have made wealth and economy coming over here, working hard. They are the people that built fucking New York with the Carnegies. But you want to talk about crime waves? He said, and that has its problems, its consequences. You have higher crime rates, you have these ethnic enclaves. You have inter-ethnic conflicts in a country where you really didn't have that before the fucking 1920s is called it again, motherfucker. New York specifically, especially, had these conflicts back and forth. But we all just live in our little pockets. That's why I used to laugh at people like, oh, you're from NYC. It's a bastion. Everybody gets along, right? No, the fuck we didn't. There were plenty, like my neighborhood alone had a family from Poland, a family from the Middle East somewhere. I'm not sure if they were from Lebanon or whatnot at the time. A Korean family, a black family, and a Japanese family, because it was a whole family of businesses. And then the Italian family owned the fish market / meat market. We had the liquor store. The Japanese family who sold one of their stores to one of the Korean families had 2 corner stores. One right next to our house and the other one a couple of blocks down. It was a family full of businesses. We had Mr. Peelan, a black business owner who did hair out of his house. We had another hairdresser across the street, a Spanish lady who did my hair for my godparents' wedding, which ended up pissing off Mr. Peelan. That was a funny story. He was so sure that he was going to be the one to do my hair for the wedding. They chose a Spanish hairdresser who gave me the cutest Shirley Temple style. We had the black family that owned the laundromat. So yeah, there were little diverse pockets of people living together, and the Polish family owned a moving business. But there were, in other boroughs especially, different enclaves. Little Germany, Little Italy. I don't think we called it Little Ireland, but we knew where Irish people lived and congregated. And Chinatown, which I don't think I have to explain what Chinatown is. I got pictures on the other computer. Young Galari, I was just a troublemaker back then. And hey, Glass Jaws. But when I say that to blame crime on other people when crime doesn't know a specific color in our country, when crime has every ethnic hand in it, and it is more akin to when our economy is unstable, when people can't afford things, and when habits go unchecked. But according to the right, we have to villainize immigrants. It doesn't matter what kind of immigrants now. Because they want to get away from thinking that they're racist, attacking black and Hispanic folks. And they need new scapegoats. And, well, if you're Italian American, if you're Irish American, or German American, you're up. All the GOP has is hate. All they have at this point is pitting people against each other. And I'm not even going to mock some of you who thought that you were on the bus. On that GOP bus, being able to look down on other people. I am telling you to open your fucking eyes to it, because they don't like you, they don't respect you either, and they just want you to be a foot soldier for fuckery. And as Vance has put it, he wants you to be the blame for when they get rid of all the rest of us. He also made some shitty comments about women who are grandmothers. That is their job to babysit the kids. Because at no point in a woman's life do these motherfuckers want us to have any autonomy over ourselves. When we're young, we have to be prepared to become moms. When we're birthing age, we have to be prepared to crank out babies and not think about anything but making babies. We are totally fuckable meat bags and baby incubators. And then when we're older, after raising kids and letting them go off to live their lives and have kids and grow their own families, we're expected to not retire, enjoy the golden years. Nope. We've got to babysit, according to JD Vance. It is our mandate by them that forever we are chained to that fucking role. And FYI, JD Vance, a lot of grandmothers would love to just nurture their grandbabies. But we don't want to fucking be told, even though I'm not a grandmother yet, and I probably won't be for a while. I'm planning to be a new mom soon. But we don't want to be fucking told what we can do by no fucking incel that just got lucky that a woman finally touched you and took you out of that status. But you are forever an incel with your mentality. I can't. And I hate using that word because a certain person that I'm going to drag tomorrow. But he just gives that energy that he just really hates women. He hates everybody. And that is why Donald Trump picked him. But we're going to talk a little bit about the Project 2025 thing before we palate cleanse. Because President Biden spoke at a rally earlier. And what he had to say about this, everybody should take to heart. Because it's no joke. They really want to turn us into a religious theocracy and a dictatorship, and we cannot afford that. Exactly. Exactly. You know, I feel the same way. Mine neither. In fact, on my birthday, when I went back to Facebook to let people know, yes, I'm still alive, let them know that Greg and I don't live where we used to live, we're happy, we're okay, kiddo graduated, that was one of the first things she did was hit up my comment section. She doesn't have my number. She has no way to contact me any other way. And after I seen a few of her comments, I just stopped logging on to Facebook again. Because I'm not going to let her erode the boundary that I set with her. I would never leave my son alone with her again. I just can't. She's not stable. And I refuse. But we're going to fire this up because, honestly speaking, this is what is at stake. Let me make sure that it's not muted this time. Because people are still trying to downplay Project 2025, and we cannot afford to downplay it.
Let me tell you what our Project 2025 is. Beat the hell out of them.
Yes.
President Biden riffing on the highly controversial Project 2025. On the very same day, a bombshell secret recording exposed the actual plans from that group and their real links to Trump. The video, part of an undercover sting by the Center for Climate Reporting. It shows Trump White House veteran Russell Vought, who later went on to help create Project 2025, talking about the plan, including how they think Trump should use the military if he were to get back into office.
The president has, the ability both along the border and elsewhere to maintain law and order with the military, and that's something that it's going to be important for him to remember and his lawyers to affirm. But we've given them the case for that.
Oh, it doesn't stop there. Quote, Vought said he is overseeing the drafting of hundreds of executive orders, regulations, and secretarial memos. These include plans for the largest deportation in history and a proposal to use the military against U.S. citizens to suppress large-scale protests in response. Donald Trump has...
Give me just a moment. Do you understand what they want to do? I don't like normally mixing fiction with reality, but every November, the 5th of November, Greg and I sit down, we fire up V for Vendetta. I know, it's just a movie. I know that the actual writer of V for Vendetta, Alan Moore, hated the movie. But there was just so many parallels to North Fire in this that you think this doofy motherfucker actually watched the movie and said, you know what? That's a good idea. That's a great idea. We're going to make it great. We're going to create a whole North Fire. We'll black bag everybody. Anybody that doesn't look like you, anybody that doesn't have the funds like you, we'll get you all out of here. You think it can't fucking happen. You think it's just a work of fiction like The Handmaid's Tale. Until we're fucking there because, it can't happen. I won't vote in November. It won't matter. I won't vote locally. What the hell does it matter if our Congress is still split? This is why it matters.
Has desperately tried to distance himself from Project 2025 in the past weeks, but Vought suggests that the relationship remains very strong.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman of Project 2025. It's interesting. He's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization. He's raised money for our organization. He's blessed it from the, when we're walking into.
At this point, it's more of a Freddy fucking Krueger than a boogeyman, sir. Y'all are just mad that you were so confident putting that fucking manifesto out, which I still have a copy of, y'all, that you thought we were just gonna lay down and let you run roughshod over us. You repealed Dobbs under Trump. Women have been waiting to tell y'all to go fuck yourself in November. What can I vote in as a legal non-citizen resident? Let's see. You're a legal non-citizen resident. Let me just look that up really quick because I don't want to give misinformation. I'm not like other people that will just be like, well, here's my opinion. Cornel West trying to be a third-party candidate is ridiculous. Live Action Grady, We ain't voting for you. You can run, but I guarantee you won't break more than 2%, wasting our time. Okay, give me just a moment. Let's see, vote.gov. Are you a U.S. citizen? Some areas allow non-citizens to vote in local elections only. You must meet your state's residency requirements. You can be experiencing homelessness and still meet the requirements if you can prove that you have been in the area that you've been. If you are 18 years old on or before Election Day, in almost every state you can register to vote. In some states, they'll allow 17-year-olds who will be 18 by Election Day to vote. If you're registered to vote, check your voter registration. There's a vote.org that you can go to. I cannot emphatically say that your status would allow you to vote in the nationals, but every election helps us. So if you can vote in your state's local elections, that will help us out as well. People think it don't matter, but I was taught as a kid, your vote is your voice. So anything y'all can do, whether it's helping with a campaign, voting in your local and state elections, and definitely voting in the national elections, help us all. We're going to listen to just a little bit more of this because it just angers up the blood how smug he is because Trump's being a pussy right now. I don't know anything about that Project 2025. Y'all are just putting that on me. I would never be for that, right? But this buddy of his is saying, no. We knew he had to say that because we know the Dems are using it as a boogeyman. They're all full of fucking shit. I can't.
Our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
The Trump campaign responded to the video saying, quote, President Trump's campaign made it clear that only President Trump and the campaign, not any other organization or former staff, represent policies for the second term. Joining me now is Aisha Mills, Democratic strategist, and Ophira Haskell, former advisor to Tim Walz at the Democratic Governors Association. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me this evening.
Yes, volunteering
Aisha, I'll start
really
with you.
does help.
At some point, I think the Republicans probably will have to realize that they're not going to beat the allegations, right?
Helps.
You're not beating the Project 2025 allegations. Everybody knows that you're responsible for it one way or another. What do you think it says about the state of their campaign that you have these conflicting messages? You have people on tape saying, yes, he's down with us, and you have the Trump campaign saying, no, we're not, but nobody believes them. What does that say about the campaign?
Well, first of all, Jason, when are they going to learn that they need to do better vetting and they need to do their homework because they are getting got on tape, just talking all crazy, and then want to act like, they're embarrassed and that they somehow were harmed because people are revealing the things they truly believe and the things that they actually say. Right. The reality is that, look, they're in total disarray. I mean, we know that the Trump campaign, God bless them, whoever is there that is a bona fide, political operative on the Republican side, has been trying to do their best to put arms around the campaign, have some structure, actually run a real game. And, their candidate is just popping off any direction, and there's nothing that they can do to control them. Yep. What's interesting, though, is that we are discovering who is actually pulling the strings around a nefarious policy agenda that they're plotting. And that's what we've got to be paying attention to, because I have been one that said all along that Donald Trump is really a symptom and a figurehead of a lot of the underbelly of America that has always been there. He didn't just show up and all of a sudden things got really murky and dark and ugly. These guys like Vote here that was interviewed are the ones who have had a many decades long sinister plot and plan to take us back to the dark ages. And so I'm glad that that's being revealed, but let us keep our eyes on the prize, that this is a presidential campaign and one guy who is crazy at the top of a ticket. But even when Donald Trump goes away and when we beat him, these folks are still going to be there doing this work.
Yep.
Right. I want to play.
And that is why I say it all matters, because they're the kings and queens of the long game. They have indoctrinated enough people that are loyal no matter what the fuck they say. Even the motherfucker insulting veterans the way he did. They don't care. It's all about grabbing power for them. So they will continue, even as they lose this November, to continue to weasel in, erode voter confidence, take any spot they can, fucking change schools up to be more parochial-like even though they're public. And this is why we gotta start fighting back. We tried that nice shit in 2016. We tried going high when they go low. And no, motherfucker, the time to fight and drag them is here. No more going nice. It is time to let bitches like me do our job and be ratchet and drag motherfuckers with facts. Because all of this being nice and being civil don't work for the people that would round us up and take us out if they get the chance.
Fear, I want to play you some sound, further sound from Vote about what their plans are, because I don't think we can stress enough what Aisha just said. Even if Donald Trump is defeated in November, these people aren't gone, and their plans will continue. What's your thoughts on the sound on the other side?
I think you have to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. You have the largest deportation in history.
Christian
Block funding for
nationalism
Planned
is
Parenthood. I want to be the person that crushes the deep state. 80% of my time is working on the plans of what's necessary to take control of these bureaucracies. And we are working doggedly on that, whether it's destroying their agency's notion of independence. They're independent from the president.
It's fucking crazy. They're legitimate cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And is it just me, or does he not look like the father from Get Out? Like, I'm literally seeing that Dr. Scrubs on him as he's trying to get in the homeboy's head and transplant a white person into his body. Yo. And the bad thing is he looks like the average like teacher or librarian, and he's sitting here talking about we need a rise in white Christian nationalism, because don't get it twisted, it's not all Christians you want on that. You know, we know you mean white Christians at this point. And it's shameful that they are willing to risk our democracy like this. Exactly, Fluffy, and welcome to the chat, hun. It's good to see you. I don't understand it. I don't get how people think that these people deserve any power in our country. But if we become apathetic, they will not only seize power, but make it where they never let it go. And this is why even after November, we have to stay on their fucking necks. It really is. Power just wants more power, and they only want to protect money. We're going to listen to just a bit more of this before I palate cleanse, because honestly, y'all, this gets me heated. Because they're still trying to downplay, oh, we're just being paranoid, the boogeyman. It's the same shit they said to us in 2015. Why are you being so paranoid? He's just a TV show host. How bad could it be? I still have a 1,000-yard stare from the Trump presidency. I hate that you have to put those two words together. He is going down as the worst fucking U.S. president we ever had. We have people that are no longer here with us because of that fucker. So no. We are not going to play those games of Project 2025 is just an idea. I don't see why you left to treating it like your boogeyman, because if you're a woman right now, you can say bye-bye to your rights. You can say bye-bye to leaving that partner that wanted to punch you because he was just mad that day. Who wants to put you down and abuse you because you're his property. No such thing as a no-fault divorce under Project 2025. If you're a woman, your only rights is to be a fuckable meat bag or a baby incubator. If you're a non-straight person, well, if you won't do conversion therapy, they have the right to use our military to get rid of you. And if you're a military member that don't agree with that, you will probably be convicted of desertion or treason. You have to be loyal to your dictator, whether it's the orange turd or whatever little conservative puppet they put forward. Because our rights don't fucking matter to them. And we are nothing but cannon fodder for their agenda. Exactly, aggravated proctor. I'm telling you, the shit that women will have to put up with under Project 2025 is not a joke. And the fact that they want to just go, oh, it's just the left's boogeyman. No, it is a fucking nightmare that a lot of us are starting to wake up to, and a lot of us are going to do our fucking damnedest to stop.
Afira, so we have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in Maryland talking about reducing the cost of insulin and making medicine more affordable. And then you've got Project 2025 apparatchiks basically saying we're going to destroy the infrastructure necessary in order to make healthcare more reasonable. How dangerous is this when you hear these kinds of plans and the fact that they will continue even if Trump is defeated?
Well, I think Governor Walz put it best. Who even asked for this stuff?
Exactly.
It's so extreme. It's so dark. It's divisive. It's chaotic. And he also put it best when he said that they just want the freedom to invade your exam room, to go into your doctor's office, and to go into your bedroom. This is a dangerous playbook that Republicans across the country are trying to run away from. No matter how hard they try to, they can't. There are Republicans in some of the states that we are seeing governor's races, like North Carolina, who are trying to say that they don't want to ban abortion. They're running ads on TV trying to say that. But I think we all know the truth, that they put in writing, they made it clear behind closed doors that that's exactly what they want to do. And Donald Trump, the only promise that he ever kept was overturning Roe. So I think we should take them at their word when they're drawing up these playbooks. Again, to Governor Walz said, you don't drop a playbook and then not run the play. I think a coach...
Exactly. Not to interrupt that young lady, but it's true. They try to distance themselves. Even Kemp. Not only did Kemp come out against Donald Trump, but he's trying to distance himself from Project 2025 because he knows Georgia women ain't gonna play that shit. We already sent Herschel his walk. He tried to run for something and Georgia said no. And we ended up getting Governor Warnock and John Ossoff. But when I tell you that Republicans are scared right now, that this shit got out, that there are still some people boldly trying to push this shit, and that they know it is bad for elections, I'm not lying. And we need to remind them that they work for us, not the other way around. And we need to vote those motherfuckers out. But we're going to get to a palate cleanse, y'all, because I promised to join a panel on YouTube. And I need to rehydrate my voice, calm it down a bit before I scoot over to YouTube and see what they want to talk at me about. But we have some dark Brandon here. Perfect palate cleanse. And with the message that a lot of us who are really pumped for this campaign feel about it. This is love and joy is gonna win. And I full on believe that. And if you haven't subscribed to Dark Brandon on YouTube or Snorhawk or Glass Jars or anybody who's in here, because a lot of you have channels, please give it a consideration because they are great, entertaining people and people I like to watch when I have the time.
I could speak all afternoon about the person that I am standing on this stage with.
Look at how they got Joe. I will always appreciate what Joe Biden has done for our country. He's the healing balm after 4 years of fucking abuse.
Our extraordinary President Joe Biden. Today we take the next step, thank you, Joe, forward in our fight.
We're not going back. Oh, love that they chanted, thank you, Joe. Because he takes real sound clips from actual rallies.
So, we believe deeply. Every senior in our nation should be able to live with security, stability, and dignity.
Yes.
And so in the United States of America, no senior should have to choose between either filling their prescription or paying their rent.
Exactly.
That's the subject of today. Because we know for far too long, far too many of our seniors have struggled to afford their medication. And as a result, seniors have been forced to spend their time trying to figure out how they are going to be able to fill a prescription.
Okay, Fluffy, thank you so much. Hey, have a good bike ride, hon.
Prescription, which is about saving their life, or whether they'd have to ration their pills to be able to make it stretch through a month. As a United States Senator, I fought to pass laws that would make health care more affordable and accessible for all Americans. And as Vice President, together with Joe Biden, our president, we finally addressed the long-standing issue that for years was one of the biggest challenges on this subject, which was that Medicare was prohibited by law from negotiating lower drug prices. And those costs then got passed on to our seniors, but not anymore. 2 years ago, as Vice President, I was proud to cast the tie-breaking vote that sent the bill that gave Medicare the power to negotiate and let it get to the president's desk. And I was proud when our president, Joe Biden, signed that bill into law. In the 2 years since, we've been using this new power to lower the price of life-saving medications, and now to announce the result of those negotiations. It is my eternal and great, great, great honor, I have to tell you, to serve
You take
this
care
most
to,
extraordinary human being and American
oh, you're talking fluffy,
and
thank you.
leader, our President, Joe Biden.
You hear that joy, that cheering, that enthusiasm. Because no matter what, even though he's stepping down, even though he's handing the reins over to the most competent woman that I am going to be so proud, tearing up to see inaugurated in January next year. We support President Biden. We would have supported him if he kept fighting, no matter how dirty they got. Reminded people the 4 years of competency we had, the 4 years of being able to rest safely at night. We know this isn't a perfect country. We know there's a lot of shit to be fixed, but it is not going to be fixed with fascism. It is not going to be fixed by creating enemies all over the place. It is not going to be fixed by disrespecting immigrants, disrespecting veterans, disrespecting women's rights, the LGBTQ rights. We cannot be a stronger nation divided. But that is all the GOP and Project 2025 want. They want to gut things and rebuild it as loyal to the president when it's a fucking president, not a king. We literally fought a war to not have kings. But they want a dumbass dynasty. And we cannot allow them to let that happen. And I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. Thank you all so much for sitting in. Beans, Glassjaws, Snawhawk, Terry Antico, Aggravated Proctologist, Fluffy, everybody who lurks, anybody who watches this after we upload it to YouTube, I appreciate you all. I will be on a panel tonight on YouTube. It's called Jan's Views. Then tomorrow for my afternoon Calling Out the Heifer session, I'll be live on YouTube. I also will be on another late night panel with One Salty Beach. And then Sunday, depending if I can get everything I need to on this computer, I will bring Sundays in Solona, our D&D group, back so that people can get to see Myth Dranor. If not, then you will see me again either on YouTube or back here on Tuesday night. I hope you have a lovely weekend no matter what you're doing. Please have a good one, and I will see you all soon. Let me get it fired off before we go because Snorhawk has shown you the sound alert is back, y'all. And I made it a cheaper price. I will see y'all all next week. You have a good one. And remember, check your registrations. Make sure you can vote. And I'll see y'all soon.